Hello, I'm Sheila Paige. Any of you who know me know that I've spent a large part of the last 25 years traveling around the country, giving lectures, consulting, private lessons, and I've discovered that travel is very hard on me, so I have a new project I'm very excited about. I'm starting to give web lessons. I've done some consults by phone, a few by Skype, and I've discovered there's a lot of possibilities there. So what I've done is I have a 4-camera setup. I have a main camera, an overhead camera, a right camera, and a left camera, so that you can see what's going on from all different angles. And I think one of the things you need to know is that your experience of web lessons will be as good as your setup. Now this means you need a computer with good enough processing speed to handle video. Video, I think most of you know, is a memory hog, so it's important that you have a strong enough computer to do this. The second biggest factor is your internet connection. I'm working from a hardwired connection. I know a lot of university professors have hardwired connections in their studios at school. I think most of you at home don't have a hardwired connection by your piano. A wireless connection will work for you, but your signal has to be strong enough. If it isn't, there is a device you can buy for around $70 or $80 that will boost your signal through the house. So that's not a problem. You can get that issue solved. When we start a lesson, this big picture on the right might be what you see because I'll be talking to you. As we continue, we might go to this camera, which is the right-hand camera. Now I have the controls that I can zoom that out for you. I can pan it across. So you can get different images of what's going on in the right hand. We also have this camera, the left-hand camera. I can zoom that out. Pan from left to right a little bit. I like this camera a lot coming up. This is the overhead camera. This is what you'd be able to see. And I know one or two of you already have huge monitors installed in your studio, and then it would be possible to see all 4 camera angles at once. I know some of you have huge monitors in your studios already installed, and I could send you all 4 pictures at once. So I think that's a nice feature of the program I'm using. So these are possible things that you could receive from my end. I think for most of you, I'd probably send you 1 picture at a time because your monitors won't be large enough. But as you see, I have the control to zoom in, zoom out to give you the best picture possible. If you're interested in this approach, the program I'm using is called VidBlaster. It's a very nice program. If you don't mind having this little trial thing on there, you actually can use this program for free. I'm going to buy it because I'm going to be doing a lot of work with it, but it gives you an easy, cheap option if you want to have this multi-camera control. The thing you have to remember about a program like VidBlaster is, again, you need a very strong computer with fast, good processing speed because video chews up your memory. So that's important to remember if you want to go this route. Make sure your computer can actually handle it. When it comes to webcams or just using any camera, your laptop camera is your least effective. And I would suggest having your monitor, which is probably your laptop in most cases, over here to the right, because if you're constantly turning here to look or turning over here to look, that's not the best way to have a lesson. It's best if it's somehow towards the front of you. The problem with the laptop webcam is it's not very movable. It's also not a great quality. So you can use a regular video camera. I think your best bet there is to go digital. The old analog cameras won't give you as good reception. You can also get HD web cameras now, very inexpensively. They do a wonderful job. They have panning and zooming qualities that you can control from your mouse, which is what I'm using. So you have a lot of options for cameras. I think 2 cameras would be a good start. That would be the best way to do it. You can do it with 1 camera, but again, what you get is as good as your equipment. You also have to check your lighting. Even lighting is the best. Otherwise, you can create hot spots. There'll be glares where I might not be able to see a certain section of your keyboard. So that lighting is something you need to consider. And the other thing you need to think about is your sound experience. If you use a condenser mic, a very good microphone, I will receive the sound very well. If you're using what's going to come out of from your laptop, that sound quality to me will be fairly poor. The other problem is, how do you receive my sound? You could invest in speakers. A cheap way to start to see if this is going to work for you is to use earbuds from an MP3 player, an iPad, some device like that, and you can get an extension cord that will reach your laptop, and your sound improves immensely. The sound you'll be receiving from me will be much, much better. So that's a cheap way to get started to see if you even like this format of lessons. Now, it's clear that a web lesson will not be as good as being there in person, and there are some limitations. I often will help move your body, move your arm when we're working in person. Even though I have 4 camera angles and maybe you have 2, you still can't see quite as much as you can in real life. But sometimes it's a lot better than having no lesson at all. The other thing I would ask you to do is send me your score in PDF format, so we're looking at the same score and we don't have problems communicating about which measure we're discussing. And if I'm looking at your score, I'm seeing your fingerings, your markerings, and it's very easy for me to say, oh, I see why you're having trouble in that measure. Try this fingering. Try this grouping. So that's also going to help a lot. And sometimes the problems you're having are simply fingering problems, passage problems. Those are easily solved using Skype, which is what I think we'll be using. So in spite of the limitations, I think this is a great tool to teaching. I'm cutting my travel schedule back. I won't be able to see you as much. I'll have limited spots available for web lessons. If you're interested, please let me know as soon as possible. And I'll have a space on my website where you can sign up. Thank you so much.